Hey there, welcome back to my channel FoodishBeauty. If you're new here, my name is TJ and my videos are usually about beauty, travel with a touch of luxury goods thrown in here and there. So if that is the type of content you love to watch, then please make sure you subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell and join the family. I would love to have you. Now today's video is going to be a review of the Natasha Denona Tan Bronze and Glow palette. This is her brand new summer palette and it consists of 4 very glowy shades indeed, all in this compact. So within the palette you have a cream texture highlighter as well as a more emollient still powder texture highlighter, both of which are kind of hidden behind this protective plastic flap. And then on the bottom row you have a matte bronzy kind of blush bronzer, and then finally there is a super glowy, beautiful, blinding highlighter shade. Now as you guys can see, I already have a lot of cheek product on my face, but don't worry, this is going to be a first impression as well as application video, so we're definitely going to turn back the hands of time and go backwards when I first applied all of these colors on my face. Also within the application I will be comparing some of these shades to my existing blushes, bronzers, as well as highlighters, so please keep an eye out for that. And at the very end of the video I will be comparing and swatching all 4 of the shades to the previous Bloom palette as well. Now fun fact, I am actually wearing 2 different glowy palettes on each side of my cheeks, so you're welcome to actually have a wild guess in the comments below to tell me which side is actually Natasha Denona and which side is another different glowy palette in question. And of course please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification, and then you will know which other glowy palette I might be wearing in my next video. Moving on to the swatches. First up is Glow Cream Base. This is a creamy glowy highlighter as the name suggests, and it has a warm undertone. Moving right along we have a super glow shade. Now this, unlike the previous Bloom palette, is actually a powder kind of gel like formula, so it is definitely not a cream formula, but it is very emollient. Now onto the blush and bronze shade in the palette. This is definitely a powder texture, it is completely matte, and then the very last shade is a very blinding glowy glow impact powder, and it is definitely impactful. I would go as far as to say this is my favorite shade in the palette. It is a brand new formula to the Natasha Denona line. Now without further delay, let's move straight on to the application part, because I think that will be the most useful part for you guys to see just how well these perform, and I believe I definitely have some tips on what brushes you could use to maximize the glow on all of these shades. Right, my friends, I am so sorry, my mic actually was not even plugged in when I did the application on this half of the cheek, but as you can see this is just one application from one sweep of colour. I'm just going to add in a bit more, and it is from the shade Blush and Bronze Powder. This is the only matte powder within the palette, and I hope you can see here it did kick up a little bit of powder in the palette, and I can see why that plastic guard is so important over the cream highlighter. I really love this matte color on the cheek. My hope is for this color to serve as a blush, bronzer, stroke contour, so a lot of expectations riding on this shade right here. So far it is performing really well. It hasn't skipped or bunched up anywhere on my face. As you can see, the application is really smooth. It does have a matte finish, not glowy whatsoever, and the color itself actually reminds me a lot of one of my favorite blushes from Benefit, which is Dallas, both of which has a very beautiful terracotta rosy undertone, which is so complementary for a wide variety of skin tones. So I'm just going to dip in there again and just apply this to the other cheek so you guys can actually see how this applies on a bare cheek. As you can see, it just goes on so smoothly, and I'm mighty impressed with the pigmentation, just how buildable it is. Moment of truth, let's see if it's any good as a contouring shade. Now, whether it's going to be too red or rosy to contour with, that is definitely my question, and so far just from the viewfinder it seems to be just fine. I think it looks pretty good as a contouring shade as well. As you can see here just under my cheekbone, it's quite easy to chisel everything out with Right, my friends, it is on to the next step, and I believe it's time to use the cream highlighter. And to be honest, I'm not looking forward to this. If you follow me for a long time, you probably will know that I'm actually not a huge fan of cream highlighters. I like strategic powder highlighting much better because it gives me way more control. But cream highlighters and cream products are all the rage right now, so let's just give it a go. And of course, we need to try it out. It is within this palette. So I'm just going to place it right here using my MAC 133 brush and just gonna dab it on lightly. I don't believe this picked up enough product. Okay, I think I'm gonna go in with a little bit of finger action, see what it looks like. And now you can see the glow. Oh, it's nice. It has a kind of fast dry down action. It's not too oily. Most importantly, it's not moving anything that is underneath, which is of course always a worry when it comes to cream products. Oh, I really like it. I'm just going to do the other cheek. It is already giving me that glass skin goodness. Oh, I love it already. Oh my gosh. This is so much better than the Chanel Essential Balm. My gosh, that balm stick is so good as an editorial tool because it shines so brilliantly on camera, but it doesn't set, and I hate it when a cream product sits there and your hair just like sticks to your cheeks. That is just not good. But anyway, this one has already dried down. Like, look, my hair is not sticking to my cheek. Oh my gosh. Can you see that? Oh, yes. The next layering step, I believe Natasha moved on to the Super Glow. I am going to use a clean angled blush brush and just going to place it again on the high points. I think it's a great blush topper for us fair skin tone girls or light skin tone girls. And if you have medium to darker skin tone, this will just serve as a beautiful highlighter on its own because it has that really gorgeous warm undertone to it. This is a blush brush though. It is slightly more dense than an actual highlighter brush, so it can really disperse that product. And it just gives you the most amazing shine. And as you can see, the brush is not skipping or sticking to that cream product underneath, which means the cream has really dried up. And I can see in the mirror, it is not kind of curdling, so to speak. You know, sometimes cream product can really curdle once you put another powder on top, but this is just layering up so perfectly and effortlessly. I am blown away already, and we still have one more highlighter to go. Oh my gosh. I just realized I was meant to save this cheek for my other video, so this is going to be a problem. But anyway, back to our Natasha Denona palette. This final shade, I'm so excited about it. I swatched this shade on my Insta story and I kid you not, my DMs blew up with heart eyes. Anyways, for this shade, I'm going to use my favorite Morphe M510 brush, and let's just go on top and go wild. Again, it is not curdling on top of that cream, which has completely set, by the way, and it just gives the most blinding glow. It doesn't have a strong undertone, but it is just so warm. It's like sunshine in a pan. I'm not kidding. I will actually go out on a limb and say I really think this is the perfected, much better version of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlighter. I know that one is so many people's favorite, but that specific gold on my skin tone looks very ashy and very grey. But this is how a universally flattering warm champagne gold should look. Natasha was not playing when she said this palette is going to give you glass skin goodness. This specific formula did not pick up any powder. It is a brand new formula exclusive to this palette, and I can see why it's just going to be one of my all-time favorites. So that was my first impression, as well as a full-on application of the entire palette. The application is just so seamless. I am so beyond impressed by this palette. And Natasha Denona is not kidding when she says she's going to bring real glass skin with this palette. I think the finished result from this palette is very different compared to the Bloom palette. This is even more blinding and definitely very much glass skin-like. In conclusion, my lovelies, this is a wonderful, blindingly glowy palette for the summer. And as you can see, my skin is really fair. I am NC15 all year round. I was afraid they might look muddy on my skin tone, but they really don't at all, and they are super flattering. So now finally I'm going to leave you with some swatch comparisons between this palette and the original Bloom Glow palette. As I hold these side by side, you guys can clearly see they are two very different palettes. I think if you really love the Bloom palette, you will definitely love the Bronze and Glow palette. It imparts the most blinding glass skin-like glow I've ever seen from any face glow palette, so I really highly recommend. Well, that is it, my friends. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it and found all of the information helpful. If you did, then please make sure you give it a thumbs up. You would really make my day. Once again, please don't forget to click the subscribe button, join the family, turn on the notification bell. I would absolutely love to see you in every one of my videos, and leave me a comment below to let me know if you will be getting this palette, if you already have this palette, what you think of it. Also, please don't forget to find me on Instagram, where I usually upload different content compared to my YouTube channel, but always active on the daily as well. So yeah, I think that is about it. Thank you again for watching. Keep in touch, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.